Hello, future PE teachers. I am so glad you're here. Today, I'm going to be sharing the 4 steps that I took to pass the PE Praxis exam in 4 weeks. I'll be sharing with you what I studied and how I studied. Now, I used 4 different tools to help me pass on the first try. The first was the ETS companion guide. The second was the ETS Praxis test. The third was the Mometrix practice book. And the fourth was a Google Doc, which I used to consolidate my notes, and which we'll be going over now. All right, so this is the Google Doc I created to consolidate the different resources and notes that I had. At the top, here's the roadmap that I used to study. I first read through the ETS study companion. Again, that's linked for my convenience and now your convenience. Directs you to the ETS, which is the company that runs the Praxis exams. And you can go over and look at the overview of the test, what's covered. It's 130 questions in 130 minutes. You want to make sure that you're spending less than 1 minute per question so that you have a little bit of time to review them. You'll also see the different discussion areas and topics. So I would read through those. You're probably not going to know all of the information on it and all of the terms. Use it as a good litmus test to see if you're interested in learning what you don't know about. If you're reading through this whole thing and it's not of interest to you, maybe this is not the best path for you to continue on. Great, now you know. You can spend your time finding something that you are interested in. But if you are interested in this information and you're wanting to learn a little bit more about it, great. You'll be able to spend a little bit of time. Again, the test is not making sure you know the extreme details of all these terms. It is a pretty wide overview of it. So it goes through all the different terms and topics. In here, there are a practice test at the end of it. I found this practice test challenging. I did not know a lot of the terms going into it, so I believe I scored a 40%. Very cold, read through this, circled my answers, gave a lot of best guesses. A lot of the teaching terms I did not know. Some of the specific science terms I did not know. But I gave myself a month to learn them, and you can do that too. Again, read through this. Again, it's not a problem if you don't know it at all, but you do have to be interested in learning more about it. So I read through it. Even with my low score on the practice test, I still set my exam. I was going on and that's through the ETS website. I have that linked here as well to where you go to sign up to take your test. You go in there and select it. Search by state. It's not too challenging to do that. The exam is $120, which is a lot. You want to make sure you are prepared to study for it. I initially was going on there to see if I could do an official practice test. And you can also purchase practice tests. However, it's important to know that scheduling your exam, you get a free practice test. So that kind of pushed me over the edge and saying, well, I want the freebie. I will take the free test, the free $20. I'll get the free test by spending $120 on the exam. Overall, it was a better value, and I did think that practice test was worth it for 2 reasons. 1, to gauge what areas I needed to spend more time on, and then 2, to give me experience with the format and pacing of the tests. how to flag questions. It just gives you a good overview of that and a good repetition, a lower cost repetition. I took my exam at home. I had no issues with the software or anything. There's a lot of availability for it. It was a good option for me. Um, so again, I would save, get a free practice test, sign up, and again, it gives you great motivation to study. Hey, the last Friday of the month, 9 o'clock, I have this test. You have much more motivation to study. So going back to the roadmap, I set my exam date, and then I took my practice test right around the same time that I had scheduled, 9 o'clock on that, the same time of day that I had scheduled for my exam. So I took my practice test. I saw the areas that I needed to improve on. And then I read through the Mometrix study guide, and I started building out my own study guide through this, which was built off of the companion guide. And that was a good 8 hours of reading through the book and creating this. Then, again, I took the practice test about the same time that I was going to be taking the final. I did get I got over an 80%. If you don't get over an 80%, definitely repeat step 2B, keep reading through the study guide, and keep reading through this guide as well. And then even after you take that second practice test and get over an 80%, still make your own notes. There will be things that you want to make sure you know, and you might want to write kind of like lines on it. I know one of the things I wrote lines on was 1 pound is 3,500 calories. Also, the different types of reflection and assessment. Please use this control find features. Really great. You can, assessment is listed a bunch of times. If you have a specific term that you want to refer back to, again, like calories here under the nutrition stuff, there are some other specific things brought up, like recommended protein for children is half their weight in grams, some of those specific things that come up. But if you're having a question about specific facts, please use the control find feature of this. The other note, and so just create your own personal note sheet as well. And then when you're taking the exam, I found a lot of the correct answers had a lot of these yes words, and a lot of the incorrect answers had a lot of these no words. I would recommend creating this table on your own too, as you're going through and testing. But a lot of the yes words were, inclusive, respectful, safe environment, differentiating for the needs of assistant students, assessment drove instruction. Anytime Excel was mentioned, it was usually for graphs and spreadsheets and to track progress. Anytime technology was mentioned, it was used to record and assess performance. Some of the answers I thought initially were correct that were incorrect. With the parents, I thought it was a good idea to contact parents and email them and give them handouts. That was never the right answer. At least when I was going through the practice test, it seems to be limiting contact with parents and not do direct emails, to not focus on specific sports, to have a wide range of activities. And sometimes it is good to have participation in unorganized daily activities for a portion of the class. And then finally, dodgeball. Dodgeball is never the answer. It's not a sport that is played anymore. So again, kind of as you get a better feel for the test, kind of create your yes and no words on your own note sheet. Those were mine. And then finally taking your exam and scoring it. Most states you need 160 points to be correct to pass. So you need 78 out of 130 questions correct, which is a 60%. So you want to make sure when you're taking those practice tests, you're scoring well over the 60%. You want to be scoring like at least 80, ideally 90 on those practice tests, even though 60 is the bare minimum. So again, here are the consolidated notes and links that I used. This is a 50-page resource guide. I hope it is useful to you. You have the ability to comment, ask questions, make suggestions for myself to change or for other users as well. Good luck with your exam, and thank you.